Module 1 assignment, I chose to use the KESA rubrics and select a component that I could rate my district on. And I chose the relationships rubric to look at for my district and my school. I felt like it rated really well, and while I had some trouble getting answers to a couple of things district-wide, I was able to get most of the information and then was able to get everything for the school. I found it interesting to read through the rubrics and see where my school and my district fit in, and actually made me a little proud to know that we were following so closely with the requirements that the state set forth and how hard we were working to make sure everything was done to the utmost professional level. For the relationships rubric, we actually are doing really great. We provide a professional learning collaboration, both school-wide and district-wide, that is following the classroom instruction that works too. The original one was by Dr. Marzano, and the new one follows on what he had done previously, and then adds to that. We also have a really great mentoring program for all of our new teachers. I have a mentor who is in the same part of the department as me, so she's a reading specialist just like I am, but it's based on her data and how well she's doing and what her evaluations look like that she was chosen to be my mentor. She was given training prior to me starting at the school and then receives regular training throughout the year. She will continue to be my mentor for the next 3 years, so 3 total, I should say. So we're halfway through that first year. And with that, we meet every single week and discuss certain things. We have stuff that we have to discuss monthly and certain goals that we have to meet each month. She has to do 2 observations of me per semester, and then I also have to observe her once each semester. So it's pretty rigorous and very robust, and I feel like it's been extremely helpful for me. And then we keep track of all that. We have to send all of that into the district, and we have surveys that we have to complete on the efficacy of the program and what we've done over the course of each semester. Additionally, we provide something that is called Naviance, and through Naviance we do a lot of things this way, but one of the things we do is safe learning environment practice, and so they receive instruction from me. We have a class called advisory. It's kind of like homeroom but in the middle of the day, and all have the same students from freshman year through senior year. And so advisory is kind of their safe space to go to, where they always have the same teacher. And in that classroom environment, we discuss suicide prevention, anti-bullying, things like that. And then Naviance is used to survey the students and see what they feel works, what they feel doesn't work, what needs more. And so that gives us an idea of where we are in what we're doing for them. The places that I found that we maybe were lacking a little bit were actually more related to family engagement. And we actually we do family engagement. We have quite a bit of it. But for instance, with planning for family engagement, I would say that we're in transitioning, not in modeling, whereas with the other stuff, we're in modeling. We're really high up on that scale from what I can tell. But with planning for family engagement, we include parents and families. We inform them of what we're doing, but we don't actually include them in the decision making, and so that would be a great place for us to include families and parents and guardians more by giving them the opportunity to be part of the decision-making progress. We also don't do a lot of professional learning on family engagement. I would say for that we're in the transitioning section as well. We do provide for professional learning. I've had one so far this year that includes discussion of family engagement, but it's definitely not multiple opportunities. It's not necessarily consistent in that way, and there's no yearly survey of us teachers as to our needs for family engagement and how we think that the training is going. So that's one area I think we could definitely do more and really expand ourselves. Additionally, with educator evaluation on family engagement, we're not in an evaluation system that discusses family engagement as a component. It's mentioned, but it's not established or evaluated per se. So it's really just a mention in there. It's not something that is part of our evaluation and what we're judged or graded on, so to speak. As far as community involvement, we're really good in that section as well. We have several community partners that we work with. We even have a Silver Lake Bank directly inside of our school, and that offers the opportunity for students to work there and get part-time working experience. It also helps with our 18 to 21 program do working learning experience for the kids that may need a little more assistance. They're right there in the school. Special education teachers can work with them while they're at work and still be on the school property. We also do partnerships with Hy-Vee and some of the other local businesses on having our students work with them to sell like our clothing, so Washburn Rural t-shirts and sweatshirts. We had some students that worked to have that available through Hy-Vee, and other projects like that have happened in the past as well. So I feel like in relationships we're actually doing really well overall, but family engagement is the area that we really need to work on the most. Like I said, the 2 R's that our school's focusing on right now are relationships and rigor. And for a plan of action, they are working each year to include a little more than they included in the previous year. And so it could be that we're just not quite there yet with family engagement, but that it's in process. We have done a lot of the career and technical education integrations. Our students can go to Washburn Tech and have it count as credit for both Washburn Tech as well as the high school. We do data collection and career and college readiness through our Naviance program, which each year gives them different surveys to complete about careers, colleges, strengths, personality traits, intelligences, learning styles, and so we do all of that in our advisory class. Then as far as how that affects my teaching and the school in the classroom, it especially affects me in advisory, because that's literally my job in that class, is to teach about the anti-bullying and suicide prevention and career readiness and learning styles, and work with the students on all of those different things. So I'm engaging with them on a lot of different levels about things that aren't necessarily part of my personal content, but that are extremely important for the students. We do have PLC strategies that we learn when we do our Classroom Instruction That Works program that we have to then implement in the classroom and provide feedback on how those strategies worked for us and why or why not we would want to use them again in the future. We have training, and we receive credits for our education and certifications that we might get. Say if you were to get Kahoot or Google certified, that would count towards your CTEs. They, like last summer, or even before I started teaching, they sent me to 3 different programs to get training for fidelity on the programs that we're including in our reading specialist program. And one way that that affects my classroom experience as well is that since I'm in college for the transition to teaching program, they like that I discuss it with my students about my college experience and the fact that I'm a student just like them and that I go home and do homework just like they do. And so that's been a really positive experience as well. We also talk a lot about the social emotional stuff, and so I have to consider those things with the social emotional character development Kansas standards, because we do work so hard with a lot of that. And I personally have a lot of students who are on a 504 plan or part of the REACH program or have IEPs. And so there's a lot of behavioral and social issues that I do have to work through with my students on a regular basis. And then family engagement is huge. Not only because I do have students that tend to need some more family involvement on a regular basis than other students might, so require more calls home, more consistent discussion. But then with advisory, we also do what we call a student-led conference, where all of the students in my advisory have to create a presentation about how they're doing for that semester, what their goals are for their 4 years in high school and what they plan to do after, their grades, things like that. And then they have their parents come and meet with me. Instead of meeting with each of their teachers, they meet with their advisory teacher. That's their scheduled conference. And then the students have to give the presentation. And then I discuss the presentation's outcome with the student and her parents or his parents after that presentation has been given and put together by the student. So the student has to create the entire PowerPoint. I don't help them with that at all. And so that requires a lot more family engagement and makes it so that, especially since I'm with the same students for 4 years, that the families and I become very familiar with one another and feel much more comfortable contacting one another when we have issues that arise or things that we want to discuss, or even great things that are happening that we feel that we need to make sure the parents know about. So there are several ways that it's affecting my classroom and my teaching, but I think for the most part they're all really positive. And so I'm hoping that as we continue to work on those 2 Rs, especially on the relationships portion, that will continue to get better and better over the course of my career there. And I'm really excited to see where it goes in the future. Thank you.